Hello fellow Sudokans and welcome to Zen and the Art of the Guardian Sudoku Puzzle. It's Monday the 10th of October 2022. I hope you are keeping well. This may be your first ever game of Sudoku because this is a game for beginners as usual on Monday. I say that, I'm presuming it's a game for beginners. I'm just assuming, I guess, because usually it is a game for beginners on Monday. So I shall very quickly explain the rules because, to be honest with you, the rules are very easy to understand. What do you need to know? Why is this game such a fuss? Why do people make such a fuss about this game, is what I tried to say a moment ago. Okay, here we have a grid of 9 squares across by 9 squares down. And then you can see these small grids of 3 by 3 squares as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them. And 9 is a common theme throughout this game because, in fact, it's sometimes referred to as a game of nines because there are 9 squares in each row across, there are 9 squares in each column down, and there are 9 squares in these 3 by 3 boxes. Okay. Now, what is the object of the game? The object of the game is to place numbers, as you can see, some are done already, in the squares. We sometimes call them cells. And how do we do this? Well, we do this by using logic. Absolutely nothing to do with mathematics in this version of Sudoku. There are some that involve some maths, but not here. We don't need to know maths to do this. All we need to understand is the principle of being able to understand 9 different things. And that means 9 numbers from 1 to 9. Okay, so how do we go about it? Okay, let's look at this row across here. Now remember, we need every number between 1 and 9. And what do we have? We have 6, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 8 already placed in this row. We cannot repeat any of those numbers. Now what do we need? We certainly need a digit 1, don't we? So there are only 3 empty squares where we might be able to place a digit 1. And let's examine the surrounding squares to see what's possible. Well, we have a 1 in this column already. So that means that 1 cannot reappear in this column here. And we have a 1 in this column here, which means that 1 cannot reappear in this column here. So when we consider this square and this square, we know that neither of them can be digit 1 because we have these 1s already in place, right? And so what does that mean? It means that in this row there is just one other empty square. And so we know that the digit 1 must fit there. It can't go anywhere else in that row. So it must go there, and this is the way to solve the puzzle, is to see where things must go. If you work out where something must go, then that's where it goes. Let's do something similar. We can see these 1s blocking up here, right? So again, 1 cannot reappear in these 2 columns. And we have a 1 in this row now, so 1 cannot reappear in this row anywhere. And in these 2 columns, right? Bring it all the way down if you prefer. I'll highlight the 1s so you can make it a bit easier to see. And so that means there is only 1 empty square here. Obviously a 7 is already filling this square, so we know that the digit 1 must appear in that square there. Got the idea now? Great. So now you know how to play the game. All we have to do is go around the board looking for possible places where a digit can or must go. Now let's come back to this row across here again. Now there are 2 other empty squares now. We got the 1 filled in, but we also don't have a digit 9 in this square. Look, we've got 6, 1, 7, 5, 3, 2, and 8. There's no 9 yet. So what we can say is 9 actually blocks this square here because a number can only appear in its block once. 9 blocks every other square from being here, from being a 9, right? So we know that this can't be 9, so then again in this row there is only 1 empty space apart from that square, so the 9 must fit there. Getting it now? Getting the hang of it? Now there's only 1 empty square, so we know that we can find this. There's just have to find the missing digit between 1 and 9. And when we look through, we find it's 4. We don't yet have a 4 in this row, and now we do, and now we've got the complete series of 1 to 9 in this row. Okay, so we need it for every row, column, and block. 4 blocks down here and down here. I'll say blocks, and that means forbids any other. And so that puts a 4 into this square here. Okay, 4 blocks up here and 4 blocks across here like this. Okay, so now we say, hell, that's not good. There are 2 possible squares where the 4 can go, but it does have its use, as you'll see in a moment. Now we know that 4 is either in this square or in this square in this particular block, right? So we can't place it yet. We know it's here or here only. What we do know is if it's here, it blocks down here. And if it's here, it still blocks down there as well. So it doesn't matter whether the 4 appears in this square or this square, it just has to block down this column. So now when we look at this section here, this box of 3 by 3, 4 blocks up here, and one of the four that appears in either of these squares blocks down here, giving us the 4 that we know goes in that square there. Got it? Great, you're doing wonderfully well. Right, let me have a quick look around. I haven't really examined this grid properly yet to see what's what, but let's do it right now. And by the way, if you are new to the channel, I don't play these games ahead of time, don't practice or work out anything ahead of time. I just play them live when I switch on the camera. And sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's not a good thing. Here's okay, 7's blocked down this column here, and 7's blocked down here, so that means that 7 must appear in this square, just so. We have 6's blocking across this row, a 6 blocking across this row, and a 6 down here. And it's going to put a 6 into this square. Sounds a bit loud outside. If you can hear background noise, it's the office near where I live. People are just finishing work. Normally I play this game in the morning, but today I've had no time because I've been busy with work. 5's blocked like this, 5 down here, 5 across here, so this must be our 5. And now we can say 5 blocking across this row and across this row. We'll put 5 into that square there. Now this column here doesn't yet have a 2. But this 2 blocks both of these 2 squares, right? And this square too, but we're not interested in that square. These 2 squares can't be 2, so again we're left with one possibility. The 2 has to be there. Right, now let's do this following your eyes along type thing again. Watch this. So 2 blocks across here and 2 blocks up here, right? So that leaves us with 2 possibilities here and here for the 2. Which one of these 2 squares is in? I don't know. But that's okay. What I do know is it's either here or here, and whichever one of those squares it's in, that has to block down this column. Now 2 blocks down this column here and 2 blocks across here, so again we're left with just one empty square in this particular block, so the 2 must fill it there. Right, there are 2 empty squares in this row, and the missing numbers that we need to fill the entire row is 8 and 9. We have 8 blocking down here, so 8 appears in this square and 9 appears in this square. Now our 8 blocks all the way down here, so again in this block there's just one empty square that's filled by 8. Now the 8 that we just filled in, use that and block it along here, giving us an 8 here. Now there's just one empty square for this column, and when we check through we'll find the missing number is 3. And if you think that I'm finding these numbers quickly, it's just that I've played the game quite often, and so can tend to see the numbers a bit quicker, but not as quick as some people. 9 is the digit that we need here, because we have everything else in this particular block. Now 9 blocks across here and 9 blocks down here, giving us a 9 for this particular block here, and 3 blocks across here, so that puts a 3 into that square there. 1 from up on high blocks all the way down here, putting a 1 into this square, and the last number for this block here now is 7. That's all we need. And this 1 blocks up here and the 1 blocks down here, so that gives us the digit 1 in that square there. Now we have 1 blocking this square, so 1 is here, and the last number that we need for this particular block is 4. And we can say 1 blocking up here, 1 blocking down here, and 1 blocking across this row. So again, 1 is the number that we can fill in there. And in fact, now we have a digit 1 in every one of our small 3 by 3 blocks. So digit 1 is complete. There are 9-digit ones placed already. We don't have any more to think about. Now here's a Sudoku trick that you'll come across quite often. There are 3 missing numbers. The missing numbers are 2, 6, and 7. Okay, 2, 6, and 7 must go into these 3 squares because we have everything else. So when we look and see that a 2 and a 6 are in the same row, remember 2, 6, 7 here, and we ask ourselves about this square. We say, can it be 2? And the answer is no, because 2 blocks across here, right? Can it be 6? No, 6 blocks across here. So if this is not 2 and not 6, then it has to be the only other alternative digit, which is 7. And the 2 and the 6 must be somewhere there. Okay, we have 8s blocking up here like this, and 8 blocking up here like this, so that puts in an 8. Right, what's missing from over here? Let me have a quick look for you. The missing numbers are 5 and 9. We have an intersecting 5 here, so we know that the 5 must fit into this square, and 9 is our last number to fill up that row. Now we also have 9 blocking across here and 9 going up here, so 9 goes there. Now I know usually if you have seen a beginner puzzle on this channel before, I usually try to let you solve the beginner, find the answers for yourself, but I can't really do that today because I don't have much time. Even though I've finished most of my work for the day, I've got more to come in the evening, and I would like to play a more advanced level Sudoku. So I would recommend also check out some of the previous Monday games or easy level games, Monday Guardian or other easy level games that are listed in this channel, on this channel, either in and on, both, whichever you prefer. We have 7 blocking up, oh excuse me, I must hold the mouse in a straight direction. 7 blocking up here and 7 across here puts the 7 into that square there. We have 2 blocking up here, so that puts a 2 into that square there. 2 across here and 2 up here puts a 2 here. And now there's only one number to finish this column. The missing number is, I worked it out before and I've forgotten what it was. Is it a 6? I do believe it's a 6. Okay, now the 6 blocks across here and 6 up here puts a 6 into that square there. Right. So now we have to look down here somewhere. Wondering where to look is the main problem of the Sudoku player. You'll find that's the main thing that will move you on or get you stuck, is trying to decide where you should look next. And I think where I should look is probably here somewhere. Excuse me. Oh no, it's not, it's up here, because we've got 5 blocking this square, so 5 goes here, and 3 is the last number that we need there. Then 3 blocks across here, so that puts a 3 here, and the last number to get here is in fact a 4. 4 blocks here, so that puts a 4 here, and now the last number to get here is an 8. Right, so how can we finish this off? Well, there's only one way to go forward here. That's this square here, because there is only one number missing. So whichever, you see we've got lots of blank squares along these 2 rows here. We can't really go forward until we get one of those numbers. The 1 is no good because that's already finished, and the 9 is no good either along here. So we need to get this number. Once we get this number, we can get the rest of the game. Now the missing digit for this column is in fact an 8, and now that we know that, we can place that 8, and now we can finish the game, because now 8 blocks across here and 8 blocks down here, so now we know that's an 8. Now we can get this digit because it's the only one left in this column, and that missing number is going to be 5. And now that we know that's a 5, we can say 5 blocking across here and 5 blocking down here, excuse me. So that will be our 5 here, and now we can get this one which is missing. I like this game, they've worked it out quite nicely. You have to follow this puzzle. And that's a nice thing to do in Sudoku games, actually. You follow this path, I should say. That's nice, especially at any level really, but you know, for your first Sudoku, it's a very nice thing. 3 blocks across here, that's our 3. The last number for this block or this column will be the same number. It will be 2, whether it's for the column or for the block. It's the same thing. 2 blocks across here, 2 blocks down here. That puts a 2 in this square, and now we need to get this square to move forward, and that missing number will be a 7. And 7 blocks here, so that puts a 7 here. The last number to get here is a 6. 6 blocks across here, putting a 6 here, and 4 finishes the game of Sudoku. Your first game, maybe. If not, maybe your first game, maybe one that maybe you're not so experienced in the game and looking for tips. Well, stay on this channel and look for more tips on easy level, and also try to move up to medium level and harder level when you get some more time to learn some more. That's it. Thank you very much. Bye bye.